I just wandered down through here one day, and me and Jerry wandered through there, and in the like the housing district was just their little thatch hut, and there was several old papa signs. By old, I mean they look like they're about 80, but they're only really in their 30s. You know, they don't live long. They don't live 35, 40 be old for one of them, and they're sitting there, you know. And they smoke this twisted kind of tobacco that they make. And we walked up there, and we were walking up there. And one papa sign said, "Dad, GI is #1." And we walked over there. They had these little bitty glasses about that big, about half full, about like that. And they had what they call rice whiskey. They brew it themselves, you know. And it looks like, I never was no big thing on whiskey, but it looks like if you took that much water and maybe put 2 eyedroppers of milk in it and just made it kind of cloudy, you know. I said, that shit can't be bad, you know. Blah, 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 blah. They're just drinking wine. I took one shot of that. That motherfucker will water your eyes, son. That's shit. That's some bad dude. That make you want to reach up and smack your mama. You know, that shit is bad. I mean, hell, I got to stare. I said, God damn. We don't need none of, no, I said, Jerry, no wonder these motherfuckers are hanging in the trees wanting to shoot us and shit. They've been drinking this shit, you know. They ain't got no sense. They ain't freaking with that mess no more. That is some bad dookie there, baby. I ain't fooling with no rice. I don't know what they call it over there. I ain't fooling with that shit. We used to go in there, and after a while, I could speak quite a bit of it. I could count in Vietnamese and shit. And I knew what I wanted, you know. I could order beer and shit, you know. I knew how to do that. And we were up here in Saigon, and the Vietnamese, they drink beer just right out of the bottle, you know. It's 120 fucking degrees, and they drinking this shit hot, you know. And no wonder they're hanging in the trees and shit, because the some bitches are fucked up on one bottle, you know. And Nuc Dai is ice. Nuc Dai is ice. You know, and one of them dudes come over there and said, "What you want, G.I.?" I said, "Moat, Bear LaRue, Nuc Dai." That means beer on ice. They don't cool it. They put ice in the... I never did drink beer on ice until I got over there to Vietnam. They usually, you know, it's cold beer, but it ain't cold there. So they get you a big glass of ice and put the beer on it, you know. And it's pretty cold. But the colonel one time told us, when I was tank commander, that was in the last tour, we used to have this contest. Yeah, we used to have a contest with these damn Vietnamese buses and shit, to see how close we could get to the bus, you know, without hitting it, you know. Well, one tank got, I don't know, if he had a beer or two or whatever, he got a little too close and took the side of the fucking bus off, you know, and it hurt a bunch of people, and there was a bunch of shit over it. So the colonel said, and like I was telling you when your friend was here, in the infantry now, in the medical association, in the medical thing, if you're a company commander or a colonel or a hospital commander, you gotta be a doctor or something, you know. You don't have to do that in the infantry or armor. You could come out of the infantry and get promoted to major or lieutenant colonel and be over an armor bunch and not even know how the fucking tank runs. You can do that, you know. But we got an armor or a lieutenant colonel. That's how I got to be the tank commander. He come in and did something that nothing that I never seen it done in Vietnam or in the Army. Took applications for somebody to be the colonel's tank commander. I was in the motorboat. You know, I went over. I had a MOS as a wheel and track mechanic, working mostly on tracks. You know, I could do that. I never worked on no big tanks, but I could work on APCs because I come out. You know, I come out of the plane, but I knew exactly how the APCs worked, and you know, every APC is the same. It's just this one had a different turret and that, but it's the same as a regular. So I put my application in. I had a little bitty dude about this high with E7, Sergeant Dumas. Never forget him. He was a motor sergeant, E7. I had an E4. I put in to be the colonel tank commander. You know, I ain't never commanded a tank in my fucking life, you know. I've been on a tank because I spent 8.5 months in Germany as a gunner, which is the assistant tank commander. If something happens to the tank commander, the gunner takes over automatically. So the gunner's got to know how to work that override and you know, and how to do. The only thing, we'll get to that in a minute. The only thing I couldn't override was that motherfucking driver. You can't, there is no overdrive for buckwheat. And other than this big stick I had, you know, which I could get up there and beat on this motherfucker. But buckwheat was a good driver. Basically, he was, I liked buckwheat. He was a little crazy, but he fit right in with the bunch. But anyway, I put in for it, you know. Sergeant Dumas said, "You wasting your time, you're a goddamn E4. There's the fucking E7 slot, and you just here fucking around." Of course, there wasn't nothing he could do. It was this battalion commander, you know. I went to 2 or 3 interviews. We got down to 2 or 3 of us left. I was still in there. I was still in the running as an E4. Colonel told me, he called me up there one morning, and he said, Specialist Monroe said, "You got way more experience, you know. This is your 3rd trip over here. And I don't doubt what you said is true, that you probably know more tricks at the VC. You probably seen them pull some tricks that ain't in the book. He said, I'd like to have you as a tank commander. I'd really like to have you, but you're just an E4. You know what I'm saying?" I said, "Yes, sir." "Hey, you ain't saying nothing?" I said, "Yes, sir. You're a lieutenant colonel. You're the battalion commander. This little E4 and shit, one stroke with a pen, you can change that." That's what I told him. He said, "Boy, you got balls." I said, "Hey, the ball's in your court, sir." He said, "I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you a deal." I said, "That's what I like. The new action army, move up." He just got down laughing. He looked at that sergeant major. He said, the sergeant major said, "He's all yours." I ain't fucking with him. He said, "I'll tell you what I got. I'm going to tell you straight up, Specialist. I'm going to bring you on as a gunner, which is a at that time, was a Specialist 5 slot, the E5 slot, but they did away with the Specialist 5, 6, and 7. They did away with that over the years, so on a command tank like his, it's a sergeant that guns. It's an E7 slot that commands that tank. I've got an E6, and he doesn't have much time left. He's only got 3 or 4 months. he needs the command time on the command track, you know, to get promoted to 7. You know, he's got to have some command time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this E6 on. If you'll go on as his gunner, when he leaves, I'll move you up to tank commander, you know. So I'm thinking my little pea brain, because I've done been over there too. That's a command spot. That's command time, you know. Even though the flamethrowers was command time, but then you're going to command the colonel's tank. It don't matter if you do it for 3 or 4 months, you know. Yeah, this would be a good little spot to kind of override my misunderstandings with the Army, you know. I mean, they just kind of interpreted shit that's a little different than what really happened. But, so I said, yeah, I could do that. But I said, Sergeant Dumas, he said, I want you to get your shit moved to the headquarters tank section, you know. Out of the motor pool section. You move from one hooch to another. I said, well, Sergeant Dumas probably, he said, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. I said, okay, sir. Whenever you got it taken care of, I'll move. You know, he said, you get ready to move today. Yes, sir. So I went down there. I got to the motor pool. I went in the motor pool office to see Sergeant Dumas, you know. I said, sir, he said, I don't hear a motherfucking word. Just get your goddamn toolbox and turn it in. Just turn it in. I said, oh, yes, sir. I said, evidently he's called already, you know what? So I moved. Well, we're in 5 or 6 days. The E6 arrived. Brought his gunner with him from wherever. Brought his driver. Didn't like his driver. I didn't like his driver. I didn't like him. But he was all right. He wasn't that bad. We get out there in the field, and we've been out there about 4 days, and we're moving out. Pow! Shit hits the fan. He's calling down, gunner, troops in the open in the wood line, beehive round. So I'm setting the computers. And next thing, I'm waiting for the next fire command, you know. You tell me something. The next thing I hear, he said, Gunner, I'm hit. I look back behind me because he's standing up right behind the gunner, you know. And he bowed down, he had blood running from him. And I said, God damn. I said, I'll tell you what, Sarge, get down there in the gunner's seat. Let me get up there where I can gun it from the override, you know. Well, the next thing happened, I fired 2 big main gun rounds. The loader jumps up, and he has a hatch right next to me. The fucking sniper hit that motherfucker right in the middle of the back. It missed the spine, luckily missed the spine, but the bullet come out right below the belt buckle. And he went over, man. He was fucked up. Of course, he's gonna urinate in a little plastic tube bag and shit. I mean, it fucked him up, you know. So I called down there to the driver, and I told the driver, I said, turn this motherfucker around quick, and let's get the hell out of here. I said, it's just me and you. He said, well, I said, it's just me and you. The loader's hit, the TC's down. I said, just get this motherfucker out of here, because I can't load it. I mean, I can gun it, but I don't need a gunner. I don't need him. Well, we got back there, got them both medevac. Sergeant went to Saigon, to Long Bend. The loader, they medevaced him to Japan and then back to the States. So we're sitting back there. We only got a 2-man crew. Well, we sat back there a whole day in the little bitty camp we had out there. The next morning, this second lieutenant from the infantry come, that's who we were supporting. He said, they're sending you out another man today, you know. They're sending you a loader. I said, okay. The next morning, when they sent our little sea rations and shit, you know.